Listen up, 12s, because something is brewing in the shadows of our defensive line that could completely change the outlook of our roster. While everyone is focused on the big names, there is a physical force waiting for training camp to truly make his mark. This is a massive opportunity for an underdog to crash the party and earn his spot in this rotation. I've got the full breakdown on this situation coming up, but first, show your true passion for the Seahawks. Help us hit that 1,000 subscriber goal today, because your support is the heartbeat of this channel. Let's dive in. The Seattle Seahawks have officially wrapped up their final day of minicamp this Thursday, marking a significant transition point for the organization. The team celebrated the conclusion of this phase by gathering to receive their Super Bowl rings, a moment that signifies the completion of the early off-season program. With minicamp in the rearview mirror, the focus now shifts toward the late July start of training camp. This upcoming period serves as the definitive transition from non-contact drills to the physical reality of the NFL, where the pads finally come on. It is during this high-intensity environment that the true evaluation of the roster begins, particularly for players looking to secure their standing. While OTAs and minicamps often highlight the speed and agility of players, training camp is the crucible where more physical athletes demonstrate their utility. Among the players entering this stage with a specific goal is UDFA Aiden Hubbard. As the team moves forward, the roster battles will become increasingly heated, providing the stage for Hubbard to potentially force his way into a more permanent role. The transition from the controlled environment of organized team activities to the physical demands of training camp represents a shift in how the Seahawks evaluate their depth. For a player like Aiden Hubbard, this is the environment where his specific physical attributes can truly be put to the test against high-level competition. As we look ahead to July, the focus remains on which individuals can elevate their game once the contact level increases. The Seahawks are positioned to enter training camp with a clear understanding of the challenges ahead, and players like Aiden Hubbard are preparing to prove their value in the trenches when the intensity levels rise significantly. The competition at the edge position for the Seattle Seahawks is undeniably crowded, but this environment is exactly where Aiden Hubbard aims to distinguish himself. According to analysis from Dom Skeen of Seahawks Wire, Aiden Hubbard is viewed as a highly suitable fit for the specific defensive system implemented by Mike Macdonald. The scheme places a premium on efficiency and the execution of stunts, elements that were hallmarks of the play style Aiden Hubbard exhibited during his collegiate tenure at Northwestern. By creating disruption and consistently finding ways to generate havoc in the backfield, he proved his ability to impact the game at a high level. At 6'4" and 260 pounds, he possesses the physical frame necessary to hold his own at the professional level. His skill set allows him to be effective in two distinct ways: shutting down the run game and applying consistent pressure on the quarterback. These traits are essential for an edge defender in today's game, especially within a scheme that demands versatility. While he is currently listed behind veteran and established presences such as DeMarcus Lawrence, Derek Hall, Uchenna Nwosu, and Dante Fowler Jr., the depth chart is not a closed book. Aiden Hubbard brings a specific blend of size and technical discipline that aligns with the requirements of the coaching staff. By focusing on his ability to execute the complex stunts that Mike Macdonald relies upon, he is positioning himself to be a viable candidate for the roster. The objective for him is to maximize every repetition available during training camp, ensuring that when the coaching staff makes their final evaluations, his name is firmly in the conversation. Go Hawks! Understanding why this matters right now for the Seahawks requires a deeper look at the current roster composition and the specific defensive philosophy currently in place. The edge position is not merely about raw athleticism. It is about how a player functions within the broader architecture of the defense. Seattle is clearly testing new configurations, as evidenced by reports from Michael Hanich of Seahawks on SI regarding the versatility of Jared Ivey. The team has been experimenting with Jared Ivey on the interior, signaling that Mike Macdonald is prioritizing players who can fill multiple roles across the defensive front. This emphasis on positional flexibility is a critical factor for any player on the bubble, including Aiden Hubbard. By demonstrating that he can maintain the same level of productivity he showed at Northwestern while adapting to the professional demands of the Seahawks system, Aiden Hubbard increases his likelihood of sticking with the team. The competition is intense, but the need for reliable physical depth at the edge and along the front remains a constant priority for the front office. Every player in that room is fighting for a role that goes beyond just making the team. They are fighting to become a trusted part of the rotation. The depth chart is dynamic, and the upcoming training camp will clarify exactly how these pieces fit together. For Aiden Hubbard, the path is clear. He must demonstrate that his physical stature and his efficiency in stunts make him an asset that the team cannot afford to overlook. The focus on versatility and technical execution during the off-season program serves as a foundation, but the true test of this roster's depth will happen when the pads are officially strapped on in July. As training camp approaches, the evaluation process for Aiden Hubbard will reach a critical juncture during joint practices and the preseason slate. These sessions are set to be the primary indicator for the coaching staff when they begin to finalize their decisions regarding the roster. A major point of interest will be the joint practice sessions against the Tennessee Titans, where Aiden Hubbard will have the opportunity to showcase his abilities against a different NFL opponent in a controlled but highly competitive setting. Performing well during these matchups against the Tennessee Titans will carry significant weight, as it provides a look at how he handles adversity and execution against players outside of his own team. This is the moment where the training camp theory must meet the reality of NFL competition. If he is able to effectively apply his size and stunt efficiency against the Tennessee Titans, he will significantly improve his chances of securing a spot. Conversely, the coaching staff will be watching closely to see if he struggles with the speed or physicality of the NFL level. The challenge for the organization is to determine whether Aiden Hubbard is ready for a primary roster role or if he requires more development. If he stands out, the decision becomes much more difficult, as the team would risk losing him to waivers if they try to move him to the practice squad. If he demonstrates the ability to contribute immediately, he makes himself a difficult cut. The evaluation of his performance during these upcoming weeks will dictate his future trajectory within the organization, making every single rep against the Tennessee Titans and throughout the preseason an essential part of his professional audition. The path forward for Aiden Hubbard is centered on proving that his collegiate productivity translates directly to the professional field. The Seahawks have constructed a defensive room that values specific physical traits and the ability to operate within a complex system, and Aiden Hubbard must prove he meets those requirements. The training camp period serves as the final exhaustive audition for a player in his position. While he faces stiff competition from veterans, the coaching staff's willingness to experiment with players like Jared Ivey suggests that the defensive front is in a state of evolution. This flexibility could be the key that opens a door for Aiden Hubbard. If he can mirror the performance he put on film at Northwestern, he will force the staff to consider his inclusion on the final roster. The consequence of his performance is binary. Either he earns his place among the primary group, or the organization looks to retain his talents through the practice squad. This choice will rely entirely on what happens on the practice field, starting in late July. The team is clearly looking for a combination of size, versatility, and efficiency, and Aiden Hubbard represents a developmental project that fits those criteria. As the organization moves toward the start of the season, the focus remains on refining the group to ensure the best possible production on the field. For Aiden Hubbard, the upcoming weeks represent the most important phase of his career to date. He must translate his physical 6'4", 260-pound frame into consistent high-level production to make a case for his spot. The decisions made by the staff following the preseason will finalize the roster, and Aiden Hubbard is working to ensure he is part of the long-term plans.